Einen wunderschönen guten Abend, or hello to round number 3 of the 9th season of the Apex Online Racing Crossplay GT3 Championship here on Assetto Corsa. And I think some of you just realized where we are. So we are one of the most famous tracks, I would say, worldwide, but I'm not really without a meaning in this, or without an opinion in this situation. So for me it's one of the most interesting tracks worldwide. So we are in der Eifel, here at the Green Hell. And let's see what these guys are able to do on this track. And let's see who is here today. We have Fürjans, Vermeulen, Rünkjanen, Stander, Homoki, Paul and Gabriel Lavoga, together with Sebastian Sandham and Tyler Fairmark. So these are our Platinum driver. And then we have Lachko, Daniel Kemendi, Balo, Roland Jordan, Popov, Mekmazur, Takash, Bremen, Archibald, Barabas, Klaassen, Castle, Slater, Van Buren and Westerhof. And these are the Silver Grid drivers for round 3 here at the Nürburgring. And we have, I would say, a good, or we just missed a good lap here in the training session by Martin. So an 8.7, it's quite good, I would say. To be honest, it's nearly fantastic. Let's see if he can do the same time when it's count, so, or if it's count. So all the Apex guys, all the Apex fans, cross your fingers for Martin, cause to be honest, he needs some points. Cause like we saw 2 weeks ago, he missed the first race. To be honest, till now I don't know why. Well, I think it was just because of work. But the other good news for all the Apex guys is the leader of the current standing, which is Jared, is here today. So yesterday he missed the final race at the ISR championship because of some technical problems. I think something of his wheelbase wasn't working, and so we were a little bit afraid that we didn't see him today, but like we see with an 8.8, I think 8.81. He's P2 currently, right in front of Chris Egert Rünkjanen, and then we have Erik Stander, Daniel Homoki and Paul. At the moment P6 for the Ferrari driver. Coming into Fuchsröhre at the moment. And let's talk a little bit about this track. Now we are at Adenauer Forst. So kilometer 7 and he's done with his training session, and so we are starting the qualifying. And Julian's one of the first drivers. He's number 2. I think right in front, right behind Tomoki. And now we are at the GP course. But it takes a little bit time till they're starting their hot lap. But the good news is, in this race or in this simulation, you are able to cut the track after GP course, so you don't have to do the whole track before starting your fast lap or quick lap, or you know what I mean. So now they don't turn left for Sabine Schmidt's corner, but right way here into the start-finish line, and now they going for the first times or timings. Oh, and by the way, I just realized that one top 3 driver is not here today, so Guido with the Porsche will lose some positions after this race, and now we are starting into the green hell, starting, like I said, with Sabine Schmidt's Kurve, and then into Hatzenbach. Then Hocheichen. And Wittelsbacher Höhe. Something I would like to hear from an English-speaking guy. And now over the Flugplatz into Cottenborn. And then the fast left corner, left-handed corner, Schwedenkreuz, and then finding the right braking point for Arenberg Kurve. And now an der Postbrücke hindurch into the Fuchsröhre with the compression. At the moment when you're reaching the lowest point, and then, like I said, Adenauer Forst. And now through Metzgenbach, Metzgesfeld, sorry, into the Kallenhardt Kurve. Und Spiegelkurve. Und Wehrseifen. And then we have Breitscheid and Exmühle. Oh, and I think this lap doesn't count for Martin. Far away after Exmühle, and now into Bergwerk. And then Kesselchen and the famous, wait, here we have it, the famous Mutkurve, a corner which you might can be passing without braking or something like this. And after Klostertalkurve into Steilstrecke. And then we have the next, I think, really famous corner, which is Caracciola Carousel, named after, I think he was Hermann Caracciola, I'm not sure. And then to the highest point of the Nordschleife, Hohe 8. And then Hedwigshöhe. Sorry for this. And Wippermann. So many funny names. And then Eschbach into Brünchen, the YouTube corner here. And then Eiskurve. Into the Pflanzgarten with the big and the small Sprunghügel. So there was, I think, the small one, and now we are coming into the big Sprunghügel. So it's like jumping something into Bellof S. And then we are at Schwalbenschwanz with the kleine Karussell following. So the small carousel, I don't know, is it carousel? I don't know. And then Galgenkopf. And now the Döttinger Höhe. The moment to relax here for the long straight. I think nearly 2 kilometers. Only this straight. Here's the entrance for the Touristenfahrt. I don't know. And now Antoniusbuche into Tiergarten. And last but not least, the Hohenrhein-Schikane. So, and I think we need another try cause he wouldn't set any time at this lap or in this lap. Oh, and Jasmine was the guy who overtook his teammate. So Jared 8.8.955 at the first lap. 9 seconds faster than the first silver driver. And oh, and also Homoki with some problems after the first lap, or in the first lap. So, and then we have Chris Bremen. Nearly 2 seconds behind Daniel Kamandi. And to be honest, I would like to watch Gabriel. Because currently he's P2 right behind Jared in front of Guido. And then P4 we have Chris Egert-Rünkjanen, the Estonian driver. Oh, and Rünkjanen now P2. Right behind Jared, so let's see if Gabriel is able to get faster. Oh, and we have to watch the second South African driver too. He's coming into Mutkurve. Oh, not the best way to take this corner. And Kemendi's still in the lead for the silver drivers. A little bit more than a second, 1.5 seconds in front of Popov, then Bremen, Slater and Jeffrey van Buren. But a quite large gap between Bremen and Slater. So, and where is Paul? Paul is coming into, or is going through Antonius Buche into Tiergarten, so at the end of the track. So let's see what is the number 10 able to do now. And we have P3 for Paul. 3 seconds behind Chris Egert. And now let's take a look for Gabriel. I think Latchko is coming. Let's see, Latchko, one of the fastest silver drivers in nearly all qualifications. Oh, today only P3. No, P4, sorry for this. And then Gabriel is coming. And oh, okay, same problem like Hyans. No counted lap time after lap 1. So Homoki, Hyans, Lavugger, and I think some more drivers with little, let's say, problems in the first lap. And now we are watching Tyler Vermaak. Last week he finished P2 right behind his fellow countryman, behind Jared. So let's see if they can do it a second time. The double win. Is it double win? In Germany it's Doppelsieg. So maybe it's double win, the double win for the South African guys. But I think it will be hard today, especially when we take a look at the training time from Martin. He lost a little bit time here in the last corner. And now it's only P4 right behind Paul. So a tenth of a second and a little bit behind Paul. And now we are... I think we need to watch... No. Okay. I think we need to watch Garrett, but why is it? Oh, yes. Ah, but Jarrett is able to get away from his teammate more and more. So let's see, and it's the last chance for P15 till P24 to set a time. So meanwhile we have 14 guys with a counted time, and then we have 10 drivers without. And especially for Hyans, Stander, Lavugar and Sandham, it would be, oh, and Tomoki of course, it wouldn't be so nice to start behind the Silver Grid drivers. And at the moment Kamandi, the fastest Silver Grid driver. Popov, Westerhof and Mazur already in the pits. So they done with their qualifying session. Oh, and we have a yellow flag, but it is one of the... It's a car in the pits, so here we have crazy long sectors, maybe, or parts of the track. So, and let's see if Jared is able to get a little bit faster than the 88955 here in his second lap. And I think Martin won't be able to get P1 because he's really losing against Jared. And now let's see, 8-8, and now we have an 881, okay, 8/10 of a second faster. Oh, sorry. And Hyans, like I said, 885, 4/10 of a second slower than his teammate, and I think then we will see number 7. Oh no, it's not number 7, sorry. Ah, it was Daniel Kamandi, and look at this. At the moment he's... What? German? Ich soll Deutsch reden? Ja, das kriegen wir auch hin. Das Problem ist, die meisten, die hier zumindest mitfahren, die haben da, glaube ich, eher ein Problem damit. Oh, und Archibald ist raus. Also Archibald ohne Zeit. Also wenn ihr das gerne möchtet, dann rede ich hier auch die ganze Zeit Deutsch. Das ist überhaupt kein Problem. Das geht sogar wesentlich fließender. Da muss ich exakt keine Sekunde überlegen. Da blubbert es einfach nur so raus. Die Frage ist halt nur, ob das dann hier auch der Rest der Zuschauerschaft zu würdigen weiß. So, und der Kendall ist der nächste, der hier in Richtung Ende Runde 2 kommt. So, Neo Ho, I don't know. Do you want me to speak German or what do you want with this? Ach, du suchst Leute, die mit dir auf Xbox oder PlayStation spielen, weil dir langweilig ist. Ja gut, das wird hier jetzt schwierig. Also die 24 Fahrer und auch meine Wenigkeit kann das maximal so in, ja, gib uns mal noch 1,5 Stunden, dann wäre das theoretisch möglich. Es war also eine Frage, ob ich Deutsch bin. So, und Attiklasen, der dritte Südafrikaner kommt, aber der scheint hier in Hohenrhein. So, little mistake by Atti in the Hohenrhein-Schikane. So, the next driver without a regular lap timing. Oh, and also Jordan already in the pits, like Stander and Takash. Castle, one of the last drivers, so we have Lachko, the next one. Oh, and Lachko also missed Hohenrhein-Schikane. And then it is Gabriel, der Österreicher, the Austrian driver. Oh, and I think Barczak with a little disconnect. And now Gabriel P3. Nearly 1/10 of a second faster than Chris Egert. And Tomoki jumps up to P12. I think this was last one. Well, the last two drivers on track are Castle and I can't even read the number. I think it's Tyler. So let's see the lap time for Castle. Castle now between Slater and Westerhof. And then we have Tyler. Currently P7 behind Daniel Kamendi. But he stays on 7th place. So, and now we can see why the green hell is called green hell. So we have 2, 4, 7 drivers who didn't set a time here. But a lot of drivers with some good lap results hier. Übrigens, Neoho, danke für dein Follow. Auch wenn du nur auf der Suche nach Mitspielern bist. So, aber hier bevor das Rennen startet, so right before the race will start. And we will have 1.5 hours finest race action. We will do a little commercial break so that I can take a breath and visit the toilet fast. So see you or hear you soon.
30 seconds. 20 seconds.
So, and now everything is ready. The engines are
10 seconds.
working. I hope everyone's engine is working, and now we are looking forward for the start. Otherwise, then on other tracks we don't have an introduction lap, cause this would need I don't know how many time or how much time. Too much, to be honest. Oh, and what happens to Chris Egert? What was this, right? At the start he has a little problem. I don't know if he hit the barrier. I mean, it wasn't really fast, but it would be unnecessary. And no slow through Hohenrhein-Schikane. One of the parts where some drivers have some problems right after the fastest part of the track. Sometimes it's hard to find the right braking point. And now we are at the start-finish line, and
Green light. Go, go, go.
now fingers crossed for turn 1 and 2. This might be one of the hardest part of the track here at the start, so really slow after the finish line. And look at this. Lavogga is fighting against Huyans, but stays behind the Dutch driver. And then we have Rünkjanen already one place behind Paul, so Paul and Chris Egert are changing places. Then Kemendy still P6 for the silver driver in front of Vermaak. And then we have... Oh, and Popov lost a lot of positions. I think Bremen now P8. And then we have Lachko and Ballot. So these three drivers were able to get in front of Popov, and also Homoki gained one place. And then we have Slater fighting against Castle. No, we have Castle fighting against Popov. And behind these two we have Slater. So Slater lost one position. Oh, and now he's losing another one, cause here we have... No, it's not the who is it? Who is this BMW? Is it Stander? Oh! And quite a good start from Stander. Now between Castle, who was P13, and Popov, who is P12. No, who is P12, and now I think Stander P13. And then we have Castle followed by Slater. And then Westerhoff also lost one position, I think against Jeffrey. No. Was Jeffrey here fighting against, I think, Takac. Yeah. And then we have Archibald, Klaassen, and Sandham with big problems here at the airport, at Flugplatz. And Borchak also could gain some positions, so I think... No, it's not Ati. It's one of the BMW drivers who is at the end of the field. Let's see, who is it? Oh, is it Mazur? Yeah, it's the Polish driver. Oh, and Popov losing more places, and now Popov on P25. But we will take a look at the top of the field. Und einen wunderschönen guten Abend an Gambot. Heute mal, wie gesagt, ungewohnt in Englisch. Es sei denn natürlich, ja, wie gesagt, an sich alles fit, außer dass das Englisch sprechen hier über 1,5 Stunden dann Kopfschmerzen verursacht. Nein, Gabriel still P3. Right in front of Paul, and then we have Ringianen. And Kemendi in front of, I think, who is it? Who's this one? Ah, it's Latschko. Und lauter denn schnell auch dir einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Oh, and behind Latschko, a bit, or let's say behind Ballo, we have the fight between Homoki and Stunder, so the two platinum drivers here in Exmühle side by side, with the better ending for the BMW. Yesterday I was told to say BMW because it's a German car. After this oh, and we have Tyler who jumps into the pits, so big mistake by the South African driver number 2, one of 3 South African drivers. So the first one is here in the lead, fighting with his teammate, now going into Mutkurve. Oh, and Ballo off track. Where is it? Oh, and the next one who jumps into the pits. Oh, and this was the perfect moment to watch. Oh, and he already left the race. So he's not jumping into the pits, but already in off the server. Oh, and Paul, meanwhile, between Gabriel and Chris Egert. So here we have the 3, let's say the 3 hunters of the Apex guys, but meanwhile it's more than 2 seconds between Martin and Gabriel. Danke dafür, ich gebe mir Mühe. And then we have the fight between Latschko and Kemendi. I think maybe the 2 drivers. No, oh, what is this? So Kemendi not part of the top 10 of the silver drivers. Only P16. Ah, yeah, okay. He missed the race last week, and so he only have 47 points. So we have Latschko in the lead, followed by Mazur, the Polish driver. But also Mazur today with some problems, only P19. And then we have Kendall Slater on 3rd place. Currently P5 here in this race, but right behind. No, oh, and I think one of these. Oh, and Kendall lost a lot of positions, I think. Yeah, but this is what I said. It's really hard with this long sectors here at the Nürburgring, or on the Nürburgring. Meanwhile we have... Oh, and Chris Egert was able to get in front of Paul during the Döttinger Höhe. And Hyjans now with the attack. But Jared still in the lead. Quite a good first corner. It looks like he was a little bit late on the brakes, but no. Good job from Jared. But this will be hard to stay in front of Martin through the race. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, we have 2 mandatory pit stops. Oh, and like we see, Ballo is the first one who needs one of these. And then we have Kendall, Chris Bremen and Stephen, I think it was Stephen Archibald, the Scottish driver. Yeah, it was Stephen. And then we have Barczak. Let's see if they also coming in for the pits. Oh, and Jeffrey in front of Barczak, but also coming into the pits, and Popov. Oh, the second time with big problems, so I think we will see. Yeah, this is not the way you should drive. So it's not normal to steering left side all the time when you go straight. Hard way till the end of the track. But Jared still in front of Martin, but Martin with the fastest first lap. And then Gabriel 1.3 seconds in front of Chris Egert, and then we have Paul on 5th place, and then we have one half of the top 10 with platinum drivers and the second half filled with silver drivers. So quite a good performance by the silver drivers, but okay, we only have 6 platinum drivers left. To be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed about the platinum drivers this season. So we have only, now I have to take a look. Yeah, we have only 7 silver drivers in the top 10 of the standing, beginning with Jared, then Gabriel, Guido, Chris Egert, Rünkian and Paul Wiedler, Tyler Vermark and Martin Hyjans, and then at P8 we have already Latchko, followed by Masur, Slater and Goodwin. And then we have Stander, and I think Stander, one of the drivers who already left the race, as Tyler Vermark to do. Charlie Harker not here today, the second time in a row. Homoki already gone. Adam wasn't here at all. Dave Urban didn't start. Radek, this third time we are missing the German driver. And Sebastian Sandham, I think he was the driver number 4. Oh, and what is this? Now only 5 silver drivers left, and now I have to cheer Popov. Sorry, but he managed to get into the pits with a total destroyed car, and I think at least 4 platinum drivers left the race after the first lap or in the first lap. So sorry, but this is ridiculous. Nothing else. So... okay, I must calm down. Also ich weiß nicht, wie ihr das seht, aber da geht mir einfach die Hutschnur hoch. Sorry für das, aber ganz im Ernst hier, Popov schleppt da seinen Wrack gefühlt stundenlang über die Nordschleife und andere, die sich hier Fahrer schimpfen, verlassen hier beim ersten kleinen Husten und schreien, oh, ich bin so krank. Nee, weiß ich nicht. Sorry, auch wenn ich da jetzt vielleicht überreagiere, aber sowas finde ich unverschämt allen anderen gegenüber. So here we have Barabbas, one of the drivers I'm always a little bit surprised of. Moreover, because it's at least this, I think it's the second, maybe the third season he is driving the GTR, so, and I think he's only driving it because he likes the car, not because it's easy to drive or the fastest car at all. And behind we have Atti Klaassen. And Hyans still right behind Jared, and then we have Rüngjanen. Okay. He was really close behind Gabriel, but oh, and look at this. Interesting way to go through Ice Kurve here from the British driver. And then we have Latchko fighting against Kemendi. Yeah, and by the way, the first stop and go penalty. So I don't know why. No one can explain why this is the big problem here at the Green Hell, but to be honest, I can't remember one race at the Nordschleife without a stop and go penalty for at least one driver. So I think 2 years ago we make a fun of it, and I drink a shot every time someone gets a stop and go penalty. It was a Friday, and to be honest, I was really drunk after this race. And like we saw in the second lap, Martin was able to overtake Jared here at the long straight. And now let's take a look for Gabriel, Chris Egert and Paul, but this wasn't really close cause there was already a big gap between these three drivers. And now Latchko also was able to overtake the Ferrari, so in both grids the Ferrari lost their lead against a Mustang. So now Martin in the lead and Jabolch. I don't know if it's the right way to call, to say his first name. Yeah, and after this race, Latchko will gain some positions in the overall standing. So I think he will overtake, no, he will probably overtake Tyler. And maybe I don't think that he's, oh, yeah, maybe, let's see. He finished P6 and P18 and got 104 points. Maybe he's able to overtake also Guido. This will be P6 after this race. But also Daniel will gain a lot of positions. Cause Castle isn't here. Barczak way behind. IT only P13, Bremen. I think Bremen was the last one who left because of his stop-and-go penalty. Then... oh, Westerhoff. P5 for Timo. And then Jeffrey Dollards isn't here today. Barabas P12 for the GTR driver. Oh, and Jordan P3 currently. But Charlie Harker isn't here. Stander already gone. Goodwin not here. So I think we will see a lot of changes after this race. Yeah. Oh, Castle is here. Castle P3, sorry for this, not Jordan. And again Paul right behind Chris Egert. Yeah, but I think it's the problem for Paul that he isn't faster at the straights. He is faster in this part of the tracks or this parts of the track when there are a lot of corners. But if Chris Egert isn't doing any mistake in this part of the track, it will be hard to overtake. And at this part of the track, when it's easy to overtake, which are the straights, the Ferrari is a little bit too slow for the Mustang. By the way, meanwhile, it's more than 7 seconds between Jared and Gabriel, but at least 4 seconds between Gabriel and Chris Egert. And still the fight between Kemendi and Latchko. So Kemendi is able to stay right behind the Mustang, otherwise than Jared. Jared meanwhile more than a second behind Martin. Let's take a look. And I think it's getting more. Oh, it's... ja, sorry. Ja, da seht ihr, da fängt schon an. Ich weiß gar nicht, heißt das it's getting more, it's becoming more? Ich habe keine Ahnung. Es wird mehr. Es ist viel einfacher. Gut, liegt aber vielleicht auch daran, dass ich die eine Sprache schon von klein auf spreche, die andere zum Teil gar nicht gesprochen habe. Yeah, but like I said, now we have 2.1 seconds between Jared and Martin. And still close here between Chris and Paul. And now we are waiting for Latchko and Kemendi, but also Kemendi now nearly 1.5 seconds behind the Mustang, and here we have the BMW. Sorry for the German guys, the BMW. Oh, meanwhile 21 seconds behind Kemendi and Latchko, and 5.6 seconds in front of I think, the third Hungarian driver. So Latchko, Kamandi and Jordan, all Hungarian drivers. And I don't know, I think Castle is an English driver. Yeah, Joshua Castle. So P3 English or Great Britain. And then the first Dutch driver here in the silver grid. Because the first Dutch driver at all is the leader. Followed by the South African driver and his teammate Jared, and then from Austria, Gabriel, Estonia, Chris Egert-Rüngjanen, and another British driver, Paul. By the way, I think P6 of the silver grid and P7 also coming from Hungary. I'm not sure, but I will take a look. Yeah, Daniel Takac coming from Hungary, and Barabas. I know that he's coming from Hungary. And then we have the South African silver driver. Oh, and here we have the fight. Oh, and Popov, who's one lap behind, now right behind Ati. And I think he tries to get in the same lap again, but he needs to overtake him at first. Maybe now at the Döttinger Höhe. But it's hard to overtake a Mustang, like we already see or saw. By the way, the gaps on top of the field are getting bigger and bigger. 4 seconds between Gabriel and Chris Egert, and a little bit more than 3 seconds between Paul and Chris Egert. But what we see is one of the biggest problems at the Nordschleife. It's such a long track that the field can separate from each other. So meanwhile we have, I think, not one fight. So Ati was really close behind Jolt, but meanwhile Jolt is getting away from the South African Mustang driver. And so we have only Popov, who's one lap behind Ati and tries to get in front of the Mustang. By the way, Mac Mazur, the next one with his mandatory pit stop. With his first mandatory pit stop, so we have 4 drivers who did their mandatory pit stop already, and Kendall now in front of Mazur, and also Archibald getting in front of the Polish BMW. Oh, sorry for this, I wasn't fast enough to mute myself. And now let's take a look for Jeffrey. Is he able to stay in or to get back in front of the number 235. Yeah, but he is able to get in front of Mazur, so Mazur with a big or a long pit stop. Don't know what happens here. Ah, now he's done with his pit stop. And is he able to stay in front of Barczak? Oh, and I think Barczak is the car who is the reason for the yellow flag. So, and now we are back at the fight between Popov and Klaassen. Yeah, but also Popov has more than the same problem that we saw from the Ferrari guys. So I think the McLaren a little bit slower than the Ferraris on the straights. This cost him. Oh, and now... Oh, I think Jeffrey... No, not Jeffrey, but... Was it Jolt? Yeah, I think Barabbas. Oh, now it's Barabbas in front of Popov. What is this? Oh, and it was Atti with the mistake, so... But why? Oh, big problems, and I think he will jump into the pits, cause this will cost more time to finish this lap in this way. Oh god, look at this. So, looks like a really hard crash in Adenauer Forst. And now a long time to... Yeah, this is what I expect. I think he will jump into the pits and hopefully he will start a new lap. And maybe then we could see the fight between Popov and Klaassen, so let's see. By the way, Klaassen, no, not Klaassen, but Popov, now in front of Barabbas, was able to get in front of P12. So now it's only one more lap, then he is in front of Barabbas. But I think this will be hard work. At least he didn't jump, and so... Okay, and Atti, the next one, who left the server. Yeah, but good news for Popov that he was able to get in the pits, and so he doesn't have to do 2 more pit stops. Okay, only 17 drivers driving. By the way, I think it's just a matter of time when Popov jumps up to P17. We only wait for the sector in which Barczak has his big problem. Oh, and I think Barabbas with some big problems. But nothing you can see from the inside. And Takac getting closer to Westerhof. Oh, a little mistake here from the Hungarian BMW driver. Oh, and I think Popov coming... Oh, and now Popov P17 and Popov getting closer to Takash. Oh, and Gabriel with the pit stop. But this doesn't look like he crashed. I don't know, 1.5 hours. I think it's more than the ISR guys are doing, so I think we will see 10 laps, maybe? I'm not sure, to be honest. And Latchko, the next one. Oh, and I'm not sure if Daniel was in front of Latchko. Oh, and it looks like Latchko is damaged. Not he, but his car. And Gabriel done with his pit stop. Now behind Castle. Oh, and here we have Westerhof against Takash and Popov coming from behind, and now Takash going into the pits. Yeah, and Lavuga not 0.2 of a second behind Popov, behind Wilder, Paul. It's a little bit more than this. Of course, he's also behind Kemendi, Latchko. No, not behind Latchko, but behind Kemendi and Castle. Latchko already on track. I think behind Westerhof and in front of Slater. So let's take a look at this. Oh, maybe Slater is in front of Latchko. No, he's behind. Also, Latchko is in front of Slater and Slater is behind Latchko. Oh, and Jared is getting closer to Martin, so only 2.3 seconds left of the lead. And now we can take a look at the gaps between Paul and the other drivers. I think Kemendi will be P5 now. Yeah. 20 seconds behind Paul. And then we have Castle on 6th place in front of Gabriel, who should be P7 at the moment. And let's jump to Popov, and now he is right behind Timo Westerhof. But like I said, not only this few meters behind Westerhof, but also one lap. So still hard job to do for the McLaren driver. And we are jumping up to Gabriel, and let's take a look what he's doing against Kemendi and Castle. And I think we will see the next pit stops after this lap. Oh, and I think there was a mistake by Castle. At least it sounds like something like this. But can I see any damage? No, there is no damage that I can see here. But this ain't 6 seconds anymore between the silver driver and the platinum driver. Oh, sorry, wrong camera. I like this part of the track so much. Okay, to be honest, I love the whole track. By the way, at this tent, I'm on the left side when you are going into Caracciola Carousel. If I'm a viewer of the 24 hours on track, I'm there at the race. Greetings to the 15 racing guys. You're close to the party, but not really in the party. This is really the best place. So here, the way to Hohe Acht, there is always a big party. And you are really close to this part of the track. But you also can get some rest. So, and now love will go right behind Castle. Oh, and crazy. I wasn't expecting this. But Castle says it's a platinum driver, so what, to himself, and let Gabriel pass. Damn, wrong key. Oh, and now we have Paul in the pits. So Martin, Jared and Chris Egert stays outside the pits, and now let's see. Kamandi also didn't come in for his pit stop, and let's see what Joshua is doing. Currently P2 in his grid after Lachko comes in for his first mandatory stop. And Lachko still behind Westerhof. And Castle is doing his mandatory stop after 5 laps. Or his first mandatory stop. Yeah, and let's see if the undercut works for Gabriel. The last races, I think the guys who did the undercut with really good results, so maybe it's a way to get closer to Jared and Martin, maybe. Let's see, by the way, 2.8 seconds between between Martin and Jared. Coming into Schwedenkreuz and Arenberg. Oh, and I think the gap is getting smaller. A little bit, 2.1 seconds. And here we have Chris Egert. And Paul now. Let's see, I think he's... Okay, he's in front of Westerhof, but behind No, in front of Castle, because Castle was in for his pit stop too, but... Gabriel jumps back in front of Paul. Okay, this sounds totally wrong. Back in front. What? And Kendall coming in for his pit stop right at the halftime of the race. So interesting strategy for Hyjans and Vermeulen and Rünkjanen. So already 50% of the race done and still no pit stop by these three drivers. So this means 2 short stints in the second half of the race. I'm pretty sure that these 4 drivers on top coming into the pits after this lap. And here in Moodkurve it looks like the gap is getting smaller again. Maybe just a few tenths of a second, but how else could it be? Or could it work? Okay, this time it was 6/10 of a second, so a little bit more than half of a second. Oh, and Kendall, I wasn't sure, but yeah, he's already done with his pit stop. So, exactly the different way than Martin and Jared and Chris Egert are doing their job. So, halftime of the race and Kendall and Jeffrey are already done with their mandatory stops. And Martin, Jared and Chris Egert and Daniel Kamendi with exactly 0 mandatory stops till now. So, let's see. When they are coming in for the pit stops. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that they will come in at least now after lap 6. To be honest, I don't know how many laps you can do with a full tank. I think it's not a tank. I think tank is a different thing. It's a Panzer. But I think you know what I mean. Was ist Tank auf Englisch? Scheinbar doch. Okay, I think tank is tank. Okay, good to know. So, and like I said, at least Martin and Jared coming in for their mandatory stops. And also Chris Egert. Yeah. And now let's see the fight between Gabriel and Chris Egert Rügianen and Chris Egert against Paul. Yeah, Huyan's done with his pit stop and also Jared back on track. And now we have Gabriel back on third position. And then we have the fight between Paul and Chris Egert. Oh, and I think Chris Egert still standing. Oh, and I think Chris Egert will lose a position. Yeah, Paul now P4 for the Ferrari and only P5 for Chris Egert and the Mustang. And then Latchko against Daniel Kamandi, and let's see. Oh, there is a damage on Latchko's car, and he stays behind Daniel Kamandi. So again, Kamandi P1 in the silver grid and Latchko only P2. And then Westerhof coming into the pits. And so Castle back on third position. Oh, and I'm pretty sure that also Jordan again getting in front of Westerhof. And then we have Archibald. And he also tries to get in front of Westerhof. So the Scottish driver against the Dutch driver. And then we have Takac. And he's really close behind Archibald. But, oh, Archibald coming in for his second mandatory stop. And so Takac now P10. Right behind Jordan and Castle and in front of Westerhof. Oh, and it's a long stop for Westerhof, and so Barabbas now P12 for the GTR driver. And then Westerhof done with his pit stop and back on track on P13. No, P12. Sorry for this. Archibald now P13 fighting against Mazur. But Archibald, with the fact that he already finished his 2 mandatory stops now, and I think Mac stays behind the Scottish driver. Yeah. So meanwhile we have less than 2 seconds between Jared and Martin, and 14 seconds between Gabriel and these 2 Apex drivers. So I think it was not bad for Gabriel to do the undercut, but it doesn't help him at all. But at least it's 17 seconds between Paul and Gabriel. Oh, and look at this, 9 seconds between Paul and Chris Egert. So Chris Egert lost a lot of time. Maybe in the in-lap, or maybe while the pit stop. Or during the pit stop. And now let's see if he's able to get closer to Paul in front of him again. And also Latchko, only P2 in the silver grid, 4.2 seconds behind Kemendi. Oh, and Castle, only 4 seconds behind Jordan. So let's see if the BMW is able to attack the second Mustang in the silver grid. Currently P4 for Castle in the silver grid, which is P9 overall. But at the moment we can't see Jordan at all. And by the way, Jared again more than 2 seconds behind Martin. Sometimes we can see the back of the Mustang. There it is. Or he is. I'm not sure, but I think it's more than the last gap. Einen wunderschönen guten Abend, Magarek. Ja, um ehrlich zu sein, Magarek, wir suchen verzweifelt ein paar Zweikämpfe. Vielleicht müssen wir nochmal zu Popov gehen. Der ja zumindest die Versuche unternommen hat, sich wieder zurückzurunden. And it stays with 3.9 seconds, the gap between Jordan and Castle, and then we have Takac and Barabbas. But I think this gap isn't getting smaller too. Let's see, it was 6.1 seconds. And now it's 5.9 seconds, so 0.2 of a second he could gain against Takac. One of the two BMW drivers in front of him, P4 and P5 of the silver grid. Oh, and there is a yellow flag. It's the number... I think it's Takac. Yeah, oh, and this isn't really good, so Barabbas now P10. Oh, und danke Rusey für dein Raid. Ich hoffe, wir schrecken die hier nicht gleich alle ab, dadurch, dass ich hier mich mal wieder im Englischen versuche. Also, könnt ihr mal ganz kurz euch abholen. Season 9 der Apex Online Racing Crossplay GT3 Championship. Wir sind beim Rennen 3. Ja, und wo wir sind, seht ihr ja sicherlich alle selber. Der das oder die es noch nicht erkannt haben. Wir sind ja im Moment gerade auf der Grand Prix Strecke hier in der Eifel, aber wir werden jetzt gleich bei Jared sehen, dass es hier jetzt gleich links herum in Sabine Schmidts Kurve hineingeht. Ja, und der Abstand sinkt wieder, so the gap between Jared and Martin is getting smaller and smaller again. So maybe we can watch another fight in a few minutes. Yeah, but at this part of the track I think the Mustang is a little bit faster than the Ferrari. Especially here. Coming into Schwedenkreuz and Arenberg. Let's see. 1.3 seconds, so nearly half of the gap from the beginning of this lap. And it looks like he is also faster in Adenauer Forst. Now the little sprint into Metzgesfeld. Oh, and Takac finally arrives in the pits after his crash. Und hallo Rusey, Grüße an dich. Und wie gesagt, danke für den Raid. Ja, dann hoffen wir doch mal, dass die uns hier auch noch passenderweise dazu ein paar Zweikämpfe bieten. Rünkjanen kommt auch gerade wieder näher an Fiedler ran. Die beiden hatten sich ja im ersten Stint relativ in den Haaren gehabt, könnte man sagen. Ja, Schleife geht auf jeden Fall immer. Ja, wobei, wie gesagt, das ist ein bisschen ärgerlich. Es gab doch einige, die hier schon recht früh das Rennen verlassen haben, was natürlich hier die Lücken etwas größer macht. Und zum Beispiel Popov, der sein McLaren in Runde 2 völlig zerstört an die Box geschleppt hat und dadurch schon eine Runde Rückstand hat, natürlich auch so ein bisschen im Regen stehen ließen, denn die hätten den ja natürlich alle dann, also das wären hier noch ein paar Kämpfe geworden. Ja, und Castle kommt näher ran an Jordan, so also Castle and Jordan really close to each other. And like I said, this is the battle for the third place of the silver grid. 1.3 seconds, so close to the distance between P1 and 2 in the Platinum Grid. Ja, es ist halt ärgerlich. Also ich finde es halt, ich habe es eben schon gesagt, ich finde, also es waren vor allen Dingen, wir haben ja hier die weiß markierten, das sind die Platin-Fahrer. Und die sind jetzt schon in der Unterzahl und ich glaube 3 oder 4 oder 5 sogar davon haben halt einfach in oder nach Runde 1 die Strecke verlassen und also den Server. Und da muss ich halt ehrlich sagen, weiß ich nicht. Finde ich halt schwach. Zumal wenn du dann halt eben Leute wie Takash oder Popov hast, die sich hier mit einem völlig zerstörten Auto noch die Hälfte der Strecke schleppen. Ich finde das halt immer ein bisschen respektlos den Fahrern, den anderen gegenüber. Weil wie gesagt, Popov fährt jetzt hier gerade alleine gegen ja, sich und die er versucht zu überrunden. Im Moment, ich weiß gerade nicht, wo er ist. Westerhof ist dahinter gerutscht, Barabbas ist dahinter, der müsste gerade, ja genau, der fährt quasi hinter Castle und Taratsch her. Nee, hinter Castle und Jordan, entschuldigt. Ach, und guckt. Der nächste, der uns verlassen hat, diesmal war es Takatsch. Der hat sein Auto erst an die Box geschleppt, um dann zu verlassen. Ja, vielleicht hat er einen Disconnect gehabt. Ja, also noch 2 Fahrer weniger und wir hätten das Ganze auch auf Gran Turismo abziehen können. Gut, nee, hätten wir nicht. Da hätte Castle nicht mitfahren können und Masur, der Pole, auch nicht. Meines Erachtens ist da zumindest noch unser Vorteil, wenn man ihn so sehen will, für die PlayStation-Piloten. Dass wir noch im Zweifel, wenn ACC irgendwann die Server komplett einstellt oder G-Portal, dass wir zumindest noch auf Gran Turismo weiterfahren können. Oder man trifft sich auf dem, wie heißt es? Wobei ich weiß gar nicht, wie heißt es denn hier, das Xbox-Rennspiel? Was es inzwischen auch auf der PlayStation gibt. Ich komme einfach nicht drauf. Forza, genau. Ist das eigentlich Crossplay? Weiß das jemand? And this is what I already told you. It's hard at the Oettinger Höhe with the Ferrari against the Mustang. No chance for Jared. Still 1.3 seconds. And I think it's the same for Castle against Jordan. So if they have the cars switched, I would say Castle only stay close behind the other driver till the Oettinger Höhe, but not with the BMW. And again, an early mandatory pit stop by Lavugar after 8 laps. And so Paul... Oh, and... Oh, what happens to Paul? Paul lost P4 against Chris. Now he's back on P4. And not only that he lose the position, he also lost a lot of time. I think he was 4 seconds in front of Chris Egert at the Caracciola carousel, and now he's 6.7 seconds behind. And Gabriel now P5. So in this case he stays in front of the silver drivers. And Latchko coming in for his second penalty, not penalty, but sorry, for his second mandatory pit stop. And Castle with no chance at the Döttinger Höhe against the Mustang. Even he's not quite right behind him. So, but also with the slipstream from the Mustang, he wouldn't be able to attack Jordan at the Döttinger Höhe. But now Jordan coming in for his second mandatory pit stop, and so Castle now on P2. Latchko already in the pits, now done with his second pit stop and back on track. Oh, and I think he didn't repair the car. Oh, and Jared 0.3 of a second behind Martin hier in Fuchsröhre. Also wir sehen auch, der Mustang hat da Probleme. Das war vorhin schon so. Im Adenauer Forst ist der Ferrari schneller. So the Ferrari is faster in the parts, or at the parts which are a little bit more technical. But the Mustang with the faster high speed, and so Jared maybe able to overtake in the pits during the next pit stop, or he can push Martin in a mistake. Let's see. High pressure between the two Apex guys. And by the way, at this part of the race, or let's say when everything goes well for Gabriel and he stays in front of Chris Egert and Paul after their second pit stop, then Gabriel is still P2 in the overall ranking after 3 races. And I think it will be hard without... Oh Gott. What is Streichresultat in English? So what it is called if you can cancel one result. So if they have something like this, the first race wouldn't be the problem for Jared. But if not, maybe it will be hard for Jared, no, not for Jared, but for Martin to get in front of the Austrian guy. So I really don't know. Is there any... So let's see. Okay, 6 of the best 7 results count towards the championship. So yes, we have one result which is cancelled, let's say it like this. And of course, for Martin it will be the first race with 0 points. And this will cost Lavoga P2, at least at the end of the championship. So this means at the moment we have, just wait, we have P3 and to be honest I think it will be P3 again for Gabriel, and then we have P2 and P1 for Martin. So okay, yeah, okay. Nothing more to say. And by the way, Jared's results will be P1 and P1, and this one will be cancelled. Oh, and Gabriel. Oh, and look at this, Paul, with big problems, I think, with a crash. Or is it still the problem from the lap before? Oh, and this isn't good for Gabriel. Oh. Was there some contact between the Ferrari and the Lambo? The two Italian cars. No, and there must be another accident by Paul, because Paul was 1.7 seconds behind Chris Egert at Caracciola Carousel, and now it's way more. I think it's 12, 14 seconds. So, and Martin already started lap number 10, so I was totally wrong with 10 laps. I think it will be 11 laps. So the last pit stop by Martin and Jared before the last lap, and then Gabriel after 9 laps back on P3. Of course, Chris Egert in for his pit stop, and also Paul coming for his last mandatory stop. Daniel stays outside like Martin and Jared do. And then we have Castle. Oh, and I don't think that these are 12 seconds anymore. But I don't know. I think Latschko is getting closer to Castle. And Westerhof less than 5 seconds behind Archibald. I think also this gap is getting smaller. And then, oh, maybe. Just wait. Okay, Westerhof stays on track. And there we have Popov. I was just searching for Popov, but he's... Oh, and there is a yellow flag. The number 255, so Castle with a big problem at Tiergarten. Oh, and I think he crashed. And now he needs to find the way back to the pit stops. No, 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 don't jump! You will lose the whole lap. Oh, come on, you can do it. Yeah. This will work. Yeah, and now, with the help of the wall. Yes. Yippee! Oh no. No, just for your information, Martin and Jared, if you can hear me, there is no more pit stop sign. Ooh, and I'm a little bit afraid for the last pit stops of Martin, Jared and Daniel. So, fingers crossed that there will be no 30 seconds second penalties for P1, 2 and P6 or maybe P5 after this lap. Oh my goodness. Now imagine Jared is able to overtake Martin during this lap. Then they are coming in for the pit stop and Jared is getting a 30 seconds penalty. He will lose... Oh my god, he will lose so many places. Oh god. Oh my goodness. Oh. Das kann jetzt wirklich hier nochmal richtig ins Auge gehen. But to be honest, there was no way for Castle to let the sign alive. Ooh. So, now fingers crossed that they know where to brake here at the Nordschleife. The interesting fact is that there are two different locations for this sign, for GP and Nordschleife. So I think here at the Nordschleife it's a little bit earlier than for the GP course. So even if you are looking for the white line on the ground, there are two, and if you are doing the second, then you will get your stop and go penalty. So, and now let's see who will win this fight between the two teammates. To be honest, it would be smart if Martin will get P1 after the first race, and even after 1 second. Which place? It was only P3 last week, yeah. Of course, Tyler was in front of Martin. So at the moment it will be P3 and P1, and P3 and P3 for Gabriel. Okay, and now let's hope that they are knowing how and when to brake. Oh, and Lachko jumps into the pits. Oh my goodness. So, and this means at the moment Roland will get in front, not only Roland, but a lot of drivers will get in front of Latchko, the current leader of the Silver Grid. And now, last pit stop by these two drivers. Okay, and I think they find the right spot to brake.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you
And
can.
the leader starts the last lap in the pits. Yeah, but we should watch these two drivers, cause this is the fight for the lead. I think Gabriel with no chance to. Oh, and this is. Yeah, to be honest, I'm. Oh, oh. I wasn't expecting this. Crazy. Even if he has to stop right behind his teammate, or in this case in front of, but after passing him, he not only find the right spot, but also managed to be faster with his pit stop than his teammate, and now Jared back in the lead for the last lap. And Martin only P2 again, like at the start of the race. Oh, and in this case it's quite a few meters. So if this gap will stay till the start of the Döttinger Höhe, I think Martin will have a problem to get in front of his teammate. And Gabriel starts his last lap at third position. And then Daniel, I hope he also knew where to not stop, but where to reducing the speed. And so Rygjanen back on P4 in front of Paul. Oh, and Paul, I think Paul stays behind Kamendi, so Kamendi finished P6 at the moment and still in the lead of the Silver Grid. And then we have Roland and Archibald, so the Scottish driver, P3 at the moment, 10 seconds in front of Westerhof. And there we have Popov. And to be honest, I really want to celebrate Popov without any cars he can fight for a position. He is giving everything with a big gap to the car in front of him. And here we have the next. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. No. Yes, yes, no. Ah, be careful. No, not another hit. Oh my goodness, I think. And now something is wrong here. Ah, poor little McLaren. Yeah, but look how far he is away from Castle, and Castle back to P15. And Latchko only P14. So, and Hyjans more than 1 second behind his teammate. Also das wird auf jeden Fall ein hartes Stück Arbeit hier für Hyjans, da nochmal ranzukommen. Und Jared der im Moment das Feld anführt. Meanwhile, Westerhof 6.2 seconds behind Archibald. And Archibald still P3 in the silver grid. Oh, and by the way, Kendall in front of Lachko. Oh, and there are only 5 points between the leader and... No, it's only 5 points. Yeah, it's... Oh, and Kendall and Mac together with 195 points. So I think Kendall will jump up to P1 after this race. Also, he's only P6 at the moment. 22 points in front of Jordan. I think that's not enough for Jordan to get in front of Kendall, but maybe he's able to overtake some of the drivers between. So it stays interesting, at least at the silver rating. I think after today and the third victory for Jared, so long, it's not really crazy, a crazy close combat between P1 and 2, but behind Jared it's really close between Gabriel, Chris Eger, Paul, Tyler, no, not Tyler, not anymore, but Martin. And Martin. So it's really sad that so many drivers not only leaving at this race, but also that there seems to be no more drivers at the consoles here at ACC. So a lot of drivers switching to the computer. And for example LMU. And we are waiting for LMU. Oh, and Popov in the pits, so finally he's done with this race. But to be honest, in this case I can understand him. At least he was able to find the pits, I think. So, and then we see the third win in a row for Jared, so congratulations, what a great pit stop. But also GG to Martin for the first P2 in this season. Oh, and did he disconnect it right? Oh, what a lucky guy. What a lucky guy. No, this doesn't count. He was P2. So, and right after reaching the finish line, he disconnects. Crazy shit. And I think he will count it at the end of the race as P2. And then we have P3 for the Austrian driver. So I'm going into the interview channel. Maybe Gabriel will join us after this race. And great job from the Austrian guy. The second top 3 result. And also fantastic result for Chris Egert after a hard race. And some interesting fights with Lavoga and Paul. Paul with some problems at the end of the race. I think at least 2 accidents and at least one with a big damage. But congratulations to P4, to our fast Estonian racer. And here we have the first Hungarian driver and the winner of the silver grid. So congratulations to Daniel Kamandi after a hard race against Lachko with the better ending. And also able to finish in front of one of the platinum drivers. And then P6 for Paul after a hard fight and some big crashes. Not so big crashes, but it was enough. And Roland, I can't remember that he... Oh, and I think who is there in front of Roland? Oh, it's Lachko. Yeah, and normally this will be the place where he belongs to, which would be P1 or P2 in the silver grid. But today it's only P14. Which is P10. But also only, I think only one late accident, I think in the penultimate lap. Oh, and big problems here with the server, I think. I hope it will stay until the end of the race. And then Jordan with P2 in the silver grid. Congratulations to the second Hungary driver. And I think one of the best results for him here at this championship. But also... Oh! Let's take a look. I would say also congratulations to P3. Or for P3 to the Scottish driver, Stephen Archibald, but he needs to fight against Timo Westerhof, the Dutch driver, and yeah, but he stays on 3rd place, so congrats to Stephen. And of course P4 for Westerhof, congratulations too. And then P5 for the GTR, Zsolt Barabas, the next Hungarian driver. P7 in the silver grid for Kendall Slater. I think he's not really happy with this, but maybe it gives him the lead. So I don't know. By the way, it is P11. No, it's P6 for Kendall and P10 for Lachko. Okay, everything is fine. Oh, and from behind we have Mekmazur coming, and he stays really close to Kendall, also in the championship standing. P7 for the Polish driver, and then Big Jeff, the next Dutch driver. Oh, and I think now the server is gone, maybe? Ah, no. Here we have Jeff. And now Jeff really careful through the last part of the track. And here we have Castle. I think P9 in the silver grid today. Yeah, but like Kendall and Latchko behind him, or Kendall in front and Latchko behind him. Only a few problems. But this is the most, or the biggest problem at the Nordschleife. It's one thing to do one lap, but another thing to do 11 in a row. So, and now I think Martin is also in the final result. So, Jared with the next win, then Martin P2 and Gabriel with the third place after the first race. And so, at least at the moment, he stays on second place here in this championship. So, and I think we wait some seconds, maybe Gabriel is joining us. Maybe he's not coming to us. So, then let's take a look where we are next week. Here we are. And then we are at Monza. Yeah, speaking about interesting first corners. I think if we are happy about today's first lap, then fingers crossed for next week. And yeah, but I think this will be my next stream, so we see each other next week. On Friday I have switched my position with... No, not switched my position, but I gave my stream at the Schwitzer guys to Sven, cause I don't know when I come home on Friday. So, and then let's call it a day. Nochmal ein Danke an den Rusey für sein Raid. Ach kommt, und wenn wir schon geradet wären, dann machen wir doch heute einfach mal, dann geben wir doch mal das Ganze weiter und suchen mal selber ob wir denn jemanden finden, den wir hier noch schnell reden können. Ist gerade irgendjemand, den wir kennen? Nee, um ehrlich zu sein, nicht. Ach, guckt, und dann pushen wir doch einfach mal hier irgendjemanden mit unseren 3, 4, 5 Zuschauern, den wir noch haben. Und da könnt ihr euch ein bisschen Le Mans Ultimate angucken und ein bisschen, obwohl das ist italienisch, das ist ungünstig. So, we are going to Assetto Corsa. Das ist Deutsch-Englisch, wenn ich das richtig sehe. Also hüpfen wir dahin. Bis dann. Schönen Abend, seid lieb zueinander, gehabt euch wohl. Macht's gut, ciao, ciao.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Also, ciao.